What's up, guys? It's the Cheapster here, back with another video, and what? Something different? My shirt? Oh, I've been growing my hair out. That's what you noticed. Oh, it's not my hair? I don't know then. I really don't know what it could be. That's right, guys. I have a mustache because you know what time of the year it is. It is November, which is Movember, Mustache November, No Shave November. There's a lot of ways to say it, but I got a mustache. You guys should too. Grow out a mustache in support of prostate cancer. Well, don't support prostate cancer, but support in fighting prostate cancer. But really, the mustache is supposed to be for awareness of prostate cancer and testicular cancer. And some exciting news is I'm actually going to be doing a charity stream to raise money for a charity for prostate cancer or testicular cancer. Still need to look into what charity I'm going to be doing, but stay tuned for that, guys, because I'll give you some updates about when that will be and some of the fun stuff we'll be doing. But one of the things I can tell you is you want to work on your mustache now, because you might be, able to compete if you got the best mustache. But anyway, let's get into the video and talk about entrepreneurship. A really easy word to spell. Pretty much everyone can spell that, no problem. So I actually sat down to make a video today, and I was thinking about some of the worst business ventures I've had in the time of my life that I've been an entrepreneur, which is pretty much since the beginning. And while I was making that video, which will come out actually after this video, I realized I need to sit down and write down every business I've ever done as an entrepreneur. And I knew I had been involved in a lot of business ventures throughout my life, but I didn't realize it was 47 different things, and I'm probably forgetting stuff too. Also, in the process of doing this, I learned I'm not actually an entrepreneur. I learned that I'm actually what's called a serial entrepreneur. And basically what a serial entrepreneur is somebody who has multiple businesses running at the same time, or is constantly like starting new businesses, which can be a bad thing sometimes. And that is 100% true, because right now I'm running about 5 businesses. Yeah, tax time is a really fun time for me. Good thing one of my businesses was I was going to be a bookkeeper. So I thought it would be fun to sit down and talk about all my business ventures, see how many business ventures line up with some things that you guys have tried. But I realized in the process of doing that with 47 business ventures that I got to make them about 10 seconds each, or else this video will be way too long. And I've got my business ventures set up on this list in the categories of my childhood ones, high school ones, college, and then post-college. Adulthood, I guess. So let's go ahead and jump into it with my childhood business ventures. So starting out with number 1 is obviously a classic. I ran lemonade stands all the time. I could not wait to have lemonade stands. Whenever there was a neighborhood garage sale or something, I was out there setting up my lemonade stand ready to go. Which brings me to number 2. I upgraded my lemonade stand at some point and started doing a snow cone stand, because snow cones sell better. I mean, seriously, I was bringing in some serious cash, like 50 to 75 cents every single time we did this. I actually remember going out to like Target and buying like the syrups so that we could have multiple flavors for people to bring them in. I was trying to do the marketing from a young age. And after snow cones, that brings me to number 3. When I was a kid, we actually would do dunk tanks, where we set up like a slide in a pool that had a bunch of ice in it, and we had a sign that said 50 cents to throw balls into a bucket for the dunk tank, which of course nobody did, because nobody's going to pay 50 cents to dunk a 5-year-old in ice water. That's, kind of child torture. But we did have snow cones on the side, so some people bought those. Number 4, I started a rock mining business actually in 3rd grade. I just started digging a hole at recess and found granite, which I thought was the coolest thing ever, because it was this pink shiny rock. And I actually started a business where there were people under me that were mining for me, and then we were selling to the rival mining gang, and I was polishing them at home. It was a big thing, but you know what? I had a rock mining business. Number 5, I started a mowing business. That was at a very young age that I actually started that, and that continued on for a long time, even to the point that today I've thought about maybe I should go get more mowing jobs. Number 6, there was a short period of time where groundhogs were tearing up our front yard, which we had a septic system, so it could have damaged that. So those were considered nuisances that you could get rid of. I actually would get paid a little bit by my dad to shoot them. Number 7 is where I actually got one of my kind of more actual legit jobs, but it was still freelance, and that was my paper route. I actually did that paper route for years, and it was kind of one of the worst businesses I did. It was so tedious, and you barely got paid anything for that, especially since I was already making so much money at my mowing job. Next, number 8, I used to snow shovel for people whenever it snowed, because I'm from Ohio. I remember that being actually super fun. Like literally I would look up at the sky and see the snowflakes falling and think those are dollar bills. When most people were excited that they were going to get a snow day, I was like, I'm gonna make some bank. So that's the end of my childhood ventures. Now let's get into the high school business ventures. Number 9, I started doing a lot of landscaping, so I would do mulching and stuff for people, and that actually was very good work. Number 10 kind of came on top of that. I used to do exterior painting for people, mostly like decks and stuff, or maybe trim, and I would usually do landscaping also for them, so that really worked together where I'd usually get both jobs from people. I honestly kind of hate painting, but exterior painting wasn't as bad. Number 11 is something that stuck with me for a very long time, and I still kind of do somewhat, and that's doing handiwork. Now, of course, I did that too with like landscaping and stuff like that, but I built up a bunch of tools, and then I learned a bunch of things I could do, like replacing sinks or toilets or all that kind of stuff. And that was a great job that I did all through high school and college and even farther on. So number 12, I did a little bit of dog sitting. It wasn't something I did a lot, but I always wanted to, but I'm also allergic to dogs that shed, kind of, but I'm very allergic to cats. And a lot of times people who have dogs also have cats, so that was kind of a problem. Number 13 is actually when I got my start on eBay, and that's when I started repairing broken phones to sell back on eBay. That all started because my phone broke and I fixed it myself, and then I was like, hey, I can sell these on eBay. I actually remember the first day I got into actually doing that with phones. I was doing landscaping for somebody while dog sitting and doing that at night. So I was making triple money. It was a really good day. Number 14, once I started scratching the surface of eBay, I decided I would sell Goodwill clothes that were worth money that could sell on eBay. So that was stuff like Ralph Lauren, Tommy Hilfiger, anything that was like athletic, that stuff would sell on eBay. And that was a decent job, but I had a lot of stuff. Yeah, I still do. Actually, there's still a bunch of stuff. Number 15, I used to sell items for people on eBay off commission. I pretty much did anything that people brought me, but I usually favored electronics. Number 16, I was actually kind of a lumberjack for a time because I worked for a guy who wanted to clear his property, and I went up there every weekend to clear out property with a chainsaw. And he didn't actually pay me for that work, but he gave me all the wood for free so I could sell that. So I actually made money off selling firewood, and that was not the greatest of businesses, but I'll talk about that in a later video. Number 17, I actually had a crane machine, like a claw machine. I loved crane machines ever since I was a kid. I played them. I literally won hundreds and hundreds of toys, and I always wanted to buy one. One day I finally was able to find one for a good price, bought it, and put it into a business. Now, I didn't make a ton of money off that, but it was fun, and it was really fun to have the crane machine. All right, so that's the end of my high school. Now let's go into my college business ventures. Number 18, I was a videographer. I mean, I went to school for film, so I did a ton of stuff for people, from weddings to musicals to sporting events to, like, you know, anything. I even worked for somebody with their YouTube channel for a little bit. So next, number 19, I also used to sell textbooks for people in college. That was actually an amazing business, and there's a lot of stories to tell about that. One part where the resident director of my dorm actually thought I was doing some sketchy business. I'll talk about that in a later video though. Number 20, I used to repair broken phones for people, so I always used to repair broken phones to sell on eBay, but now I actually started doing repairs for people themselves. That business I didn't do very long because it's not very fun to work with somebody else's phone and be on the line for if it breaks. Back when I was younger, fixing cheaper phones, not that big of a deal. Fixing iPhones that are $1,000, kind of a lot of pressure. So number 21 is when I used to actually sell what's called ZIJA, which is kind of a network marketing scheme. It's a multi-level marketing business, and needless to say, there's a lot I could say about that. I'll make a video just about that down the road because that business was a lot of issues with that. So next, number 22, there was actually a short period of time where I was actually getting paid to help somebody learn to edit, and it was honestly a pretty fun job. Kind of wish I would have done more of that. Number 23, I actually used to sell stock footage. Technically, I still do. I still have some stock footage, which is like video that I took that's up on a website that people can buy. And specifically, I had one clip that sold like 20 times or something and made me like over $200. That business didn't really go anywhere, but that was a super fun business, and I might still do more with that in the future. Number 24, I used to sell camera lenses and gear. So that's like I would buy them on eBay actually and make sure that they were all working correctly and stuff, and then I would sell them usually as like a bundle. I was kind of bundling them to make them sell, but lenses specifically, I did that for a while and was able to make good profits off it, surprisingly. And last, in my college business ventures, I used to actually clean out houses, and I used to actually help clean out houses that were now left empty, that were like hoarders or stuff like that needed cleaned out. There was one big house that I did in college all by myself with just the lady who lived there, trying to clean out her house so she could move. That was a super big job, but those are always very well paying and honestly pretty fun because you get to see this big cluttered house and clean it all out. It's fun. Okay, so now getting into my adulthood business ventures, this is where things really start to take off because I did a lot of stuff after I got out of college when I had more free time. So starting out with 26, I used to sell designer wallets and shirts. I actually don't do that anymore, but I would buy stuff on eBay, authenticate it, and sell it for a higher price. That business actually worked worked really well for a long time, but there was a lot of issues with people saying the stuff I was selling was fake just so they could return it, or so that they could wear it or use it and then return it within the return period. So I eventually walked away from that one. Number 27 is something I did for a long time, and that was subcontracting. I actually worked for a contractor, so I would come in and kind of be like his side freelance worker. And that was some really good steady work because that contractor always had stuff to do. 28 is wholesale selling. That's something I actually started doing with my eBay, where I was trying to get into wholesaling products. It actually did not work out very well. There was a few things that did work out okay, but actually wholesaling like big numbers of stuff did not work out because I felt like the markets were oversaturated and I never really did that much with that. Number 29, I actually worked as a subcontractor for landscaping, so I did mowing for somebody. So this wasn't just me going out and finding the jobs, this was me working as a freelancer for somebody. And that actually probably is the worst business venture now that I think about it, because I ended up in court with that guy. Not because he brought me to court, because I had to take him to court. Again, that's another video I should make to talk about that whole story. Number 30, back to back, was a really bad business too. I used to sell high-end furniture for someone, and then I would also buy furniture myself and try to sell it, usually on Facebook. And that business was just really bad all around because of the fact that I had to have a storage unit, lost a lot of money on the storage unit because I just couldn't sell stuff on Facebook because Facebook can be really hard to sell on sometimes. There was just a lot of problems with it that just didn't work out, and it ended up being one of my most losing business ventures I think I ever did. Number 31 kind of piggybacked off that, and that's I used to buy and sell washers and dryers from Facebook. Now I did actually use my storage units from the last thing to store washers and dryers at times, and that was pretty helpful because I usually did make pretty good money off that. Number 32 is swing trading stocks. Obviously probably one of my most risky ones. Didn't work out too bad. I actually did make a little bit of money until I got married to somebody who's FINRA regulated, and then I'm not allowed to do that now. Number 33, my wife and I actually started building tables to sell, so we were getting like pipes and like wood, so it's kind of like these like industrial type tables that we saw were selling for like hundreds of dollars on websites, and we were making them for maybe like $100. Didn't work out. People didn't buy them. Even for like $100, people didn't want to buy them. Those tables are still actually at my mom's house and nobody ever bought them. Number 34, I used to try to refurbish furniture. This was around the same time as the tables. We watched that show Flea Market Flip, and I thought this looks so easy. I'll just get stuff from like Goodwill or like thrift stores and buy it, fix it up, and sell it on Facebook. You should be noticing a trend. Whenever I tried to start a business that had involved Facebook, it didn't work, except for the washers and dryers. That one did work. 35, hands down the biggest business venture I tried to do. I actually started a board game cafe in Ohio at one point. That's again another topic that's actually still one of the businesses I still kind of run in some ways. It didn't turn out the way I wanted, partially because I tried to do it like around 2020. Yeah, that was bad timing. But that is definitely one of my biggest business ventures. Number 36 is one you're going to be familiar with, and that is Instacart. I have to say, even though that's not something I started up myself, but just did as a freelancer, that's like one of the best decisions I think I made. Because even though Instacart kind of fell apart on me, I made tons of money with Instacart. I have videos obviously about that you guys can watch. And that really pushed me into the gig work economy. Which brings me to number 37, Grubhub. Obviously, I'd say one of the most life-changing ventures I went into that really kind of defines a lot of stuff about me, especially too with this YouTube channel. Also number 38, DoorDash. That's also something I did at the time. That's delivery driving too, but it was a different company. Number 39, I was actually trying to be a video editor, so I was actually looking for YouTubers to do their video editing. I was looking at Upwork. I have a video talking about my experience with Upwork. It was not very good. I had a bunch of experience in video editing, but I could just not find the people to actually work with to do that. Number 40, I worked for the app Handy, which I actually have a review of that too, which was kind of everything from like handiwork to helping people move, which helping people move is actually the job I ended up doing on it. But you guys can check out my review of that, but that did not go well. The one job I did was okay, but the app itself, I would pass on that. Number 41 is the big one. That is, I started my YouTube channel. I actually started my YouTube channel like back right after I got out of college, but I didn't upload anything until a long time after. It's actually really funny because my YouTube channel is kind of tied to me trying to find video editing work. I actually said I was going to start a YouTube channel to show people my video editing skills, and then I just started being my own video editor in my own YouTube channel, which I always wanted to have my own YouTube channel anyway and do my own stuff, so I was really happy when this started to take off. Number 42, I actually looked into trying to be a bookkeeper. Now, I never actually did this for anyone, so I don't know if this truly could be considered a business venture, but I spent so much time learning how to be a bookkeeper that I kind of want to include it on this list. And I did actually try to find clients, but again, this was kind of like the video editing stuff. It was very hard to find clients for bookkeeping, especially when you're first starting out. out. But yeah, basically I am a bookkeeper anyway, because every business I run, I have to do the bookkeeping. Number 43, I started doing Uber Eats, which is still like Grubhub and DoorDash, but different. And that's actually taken on a very different part too, where I am now in my new city of Greenville, because that really started to take over more than the Grubhub, especially when you get deactivated in error by Grubhub. And also number 44, Postmates, which I did like the one day that I did the video for it that you can see, and it was terrible. I never wanted to do it after that anyway, and then the app got closed down, so probably a good thing. Number 45 is eBay item flipping. Now this is still something I do to this day, and I recommend anybody who wants to get into eBay selling, you can do this yourself. Just anything that you have any idea on, that you know the values of it, that it usually sells for on eBay, or that you have knowledge of, kind of like what I did with designer items. Look for lower auctions that are selling, buy it, and then sell it at probably a buy it now or something for higher price. Number 46 is something I haven't made any money from yet, and that's house flipping. You can check out my videos on that, where I've talked about my house flipping journey with this house, because there's a lot to do here. We're not gonna make money for a long time on this house because there's a lot of work. But house flipping is something I had wanted to get into for so long, so I was so excited to finally get a house and get started with this. And my last business venture, number 47, that I can't really say how it's gonna go yet because I just started it, and that's swing trading crypto. So like I said, I used to swing trade stocks, but then I had to stop because my wife is FINRA regulated and we're not allowed to do certain things with that. So then crypto is actually unregulated with that, so I can swing trade crypto now. I don't put much money into that though. I'm not like one of those crazy day traders. I just kind of do on the side for fun, make a little extra money. But that is it, guys. That is my 47 different business ventures I've done throughout my life as a serial entrepreneur. Definitely a serial entrepreneur. And yeah, some of those are kind of samey. Like I know like DoorDash and Grubhub and Uber Eats, those are all the delivery driving. But every single one of these, I can look back and see that they have like a specific time in my life that I was like, that's when I was trying to do that. Except for maybe Postmates. I don't know, maybe Postmates wasn't really there. But yeah, guys, thank you so much for watching. If any of you guys are serial entrepreneurs, let me know down in the comments of some of the businesses you've run. It's a crazy life. And honestly, I don't say this stuff because I'm like, oh, look how cool I am with all these business ventures, because honestly, some of it's a little bit embarrassing because I've started so many things and just not really had like those things that really took off as much, except for like YouTube's been great and certain other things like handiwork's always been around for me. But it is honestly a lot of failure as a serial entrepreneur. You go through so many failures, but the thing I always think is if I can use those failures to actually improve myself, to learn something from those businesses so that the next thing I start up I can do better at, then that's a net positive. But yeah, guys, that's the life of a serial entrepreneur, and I'm sure it's probably not over. One of the things I actually love about doing this YouTube channel is that it can be so many things. It's kind of the perfect thing for a serial entrepreneur. But I'm definitely going to be doing some more videos about specifically some of these things, because there's a lot to say about that, especially if you're thinking about going into some of these business ventures. I may have some things to tell you that would make you realize maybe you don't want to, or maybe you definitely want to. But yeah, thank you guys so much for watching. If you guys liked the video today, remember to do the cheapest thing you can, and that is to tap the like button, and also subscribe to the channel for more stuff like this, more about entrepreneurship, saving money, making money, all that kind of stuff. So I will see you guys in the next video, and remember, stay cheap and running businesses. Lots of them. Actually, maybe not as many as me. Maybe you shouldn't do that, but you know what I mean.
Be saving that money. Don't you be spending it now. You're still here watching this? You might as well just subscribe. Why would you not at this point?